I'm Emily of British Girl Bakes, and I'm going to show you how to bake and decorate this insanely delicious cookie dough cake. First, we're going to make some edible cookie dough. Cookie dough is edible if it doesn't contain raw eggs, and if the flour has been baked to kill off any bacteria. So the first step is to pour your flour onto a baking tray, spread it around in a thin layer, and bake it for 5 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius. Let it cool, and then make the edible cookie dough by mixing butter, brown sugar, vanilla, and salt, and then adding the cooked flour and milk. The complete recipe is on the British Girl Bakes website, and I've put the link in the top of the screen and in the description below this video. I'm taking a third of my cookie dough to make cookie dough balls to decorate the cake with, mixing the dough with these fun birthday sprinkles, and then scooping out a tablespoon at a time and rolling it between my hands to make a ball, which I'm setting aside for later. I'm making 6 balls to mark out the servings of the cake. My recipe makes 1½ cups of cookie dough, which is the perfect amount for the filling and cookie dough ball decorations for a 4-inch cake with 4 layers. Or, if your cake is bigger, I've included instructions for scaling the recipe for different sizes of cakes. Now I'm adding chocolate chips to the remaining cookie dough, and I'm going to form this dough into discs, which I'll place in between my cake layers for a really decadent filling. Use the same cake pans that you baked your cake in, so that they're the same size as the cake. I use 4-inch springform pans for my 4-inch cakes, and I've put the link for them in the description below. And I'm just using the base for this step, so it's really easy to remove the cookie dough later. Line the base with cling film before pressing your cookie dough into the base to form a disc. The cling film is essential, otherwise it's really difficult to get the cookie dough out of the pan in one piece without breaking it. Wrap the cling film around the cookie dough and then lift it out of the pan and put it in the fridge to chill it for at least 30 minutes, so it holds its shape. If you're enjoying this tutorial, please click the thumbs up button. Now it's time to assemble your cake. Spread a dab of buttercream onto a cake board to attach your first layer of cake. And this is my very vanilla cake, and the recipe is on britishgirlbakes.com. Spread a layer of buttercream on top, and this is my 4-minute buttercream, and I've put the link in the top of the screen and in the description below this video. Place a cookie dough disc on top, after unwrapping it from the cling film, lining it up in the middle of the cake, and then spread a very thin layer of buttercream on top, so that the next cake layer sticks to it. Repeat with the rest of your cake layers, spreading buttercream onto each layer, then adding a cookie dough disc, and then spreading on a little bit more buttercream before the next layer. Chill the cake for 30 minutes to an hour so that the cake firms up and isn't as crumbly, and so that the buttercream dollop on the cake board sets and secures the cake so it won't slide around when you frost it. If you're going to use coloured buttercream for the frosting, add your colour now, and then cover the cake with a crumb coat of frosting, giving it nice straight sides and a level top, but not worrying if you can see the cake through the frosting, because this is just meant to trap any crumbs that come off the cake. It doesn't need to be pretty. Chill the crumb coat for about 30 minutes in the fridge, and meanwhile, pour your sprinkles out into a bowl, or onto a towel is even better because then you can spread them around so they're easier to pick up one by one later. Frost your cake with a final coat of frosting, and I cover all the steps of frosting cakes as well as mixing batters, baking, assembling, storing, transporting, and serving in my online course on the basics of cake. And I've put the link in the top of the screen and in the description below in case you'd like more information about that. When your cake is smooth, immediately add the sprinkles while the frosting is still sticky. I'm starting with these white stars, placing them intentionally around the cake so that they're fairly evenly distributed. And I'm doing this by dipping my finger into a glass of room temperature water, tapping off any excess, and then pressing my finger into a sprinkle. The sprinkle sticks to my finger, and then when I press my finger gently into the frosting on the cake, the sprinkle sticks to the frosting instead of my finger, and stays behind on the cake when I pull my finger away. I'm continuing with these brightly coloured Jimmy sprinkles, and some little white ball sprinkles, which are all part of this sprinkle mix. But you can make your own by combining different colours and shapes and sizes of sprinkles. Next, I'm piping swirls of buttercream onto the top of the cake, using my leftover blue buttercream in a piping bag fitted with a 1M tip. I'm frosting in the same motion I'd use for a cupcake, piping a circle and then spiralling upwards, piping a smaller circle on top and then an even smaller circle on top, until I get to the top of the swirl. To evenly space the swirls, I'm piping them opposite each other and then filling in the gaps with 2 more swirls on each side. While the frosting swirls are still sticky, I'm pressing a cookie dough ball into the top of each one, pressing down and wiggling slightly to secure it into the nest of frosting, trying to press each one down to the same height as the others. I'm so excited to cut into this cake and taste it. It looks amazing with very distinct layers, and it tastes even better than it looks. Thanks for watching! I share a new cake decorating tutorial every week, so subscribe to my channel so you don't miss one.